Born to Build podcast.
Welcome to Born to Build, conversations with the builders, founders, and pioneers driving change from the ground up, giving you the tools to build and grow your business. My name is Sam, and today I'm joined by Fabio Rappenecker, co-founder and CEO of TenX Nutrition, a social enterprise in Kenya transforming a beloved street snack into a powerful tool against malnutrition. Fabio, it's awesome to have you on the show. Thanks for joining.
Thanks for having me, and perfect intro. Thanks.
How did I get your name? Was it okay?
Perfect. Yeah, that's what I meant. Name pronunciation was good. The summary of the startup is on point. So yeah, perfect.
Good. Thanks. All right. So you moved to Kenya in 2022 to build TenX Nutrition. What inspired that move, and what did the vision look like initially? What was the plan?
Well, I would be lying if I said this was the plan all along. But the idea was to work in food security for reasons of passion, and because I believe that food and specifically nutrition is one of the biggest leverages that we have on humanity, perhaps alongside education, right? And it happens to be my thing of passion, what I get geeky about, both in the kitchen and on the laptop and on a couple levels. So why not combine that with what you do 10 hours a day, aka a job, and do something that matters. So I guess that's the ambition, and then it turned into an idea that failed, and that led to the thing that we're now doing.
Okay. And so your background a little bit, was there a moment in your own personal experience that really fueled this passion for nutrition? What is your background in this field?
So I have a pure management business background, but so no food science whatsoever. But when did that come to be? How did I come to be? I don't even know. It's just something that I guess popped up in my mind when I was 14, and ever since I was like, yeah, I probably want to combine what I'm passionate about with sort of my career, and here we are.
Amazing. So a little bit about Mandazi Power. You said you pivoted from an initial idea to now this thing, Mandazi Power. How did you transform this street snack into a vehicle for micronutrients? So first of all, so for those who don't know, explain maybe what Mandazis are.
Yeah, great question. I want to even take one more step out and explain why we do that. Because like one realization that I had early on was that there were a lot of solutions to agricultural problems in East Africa, from cool chain to drones to access to markets, fantastic stuff, but fairly few, if any, scalable solutions to the problem of malnutrition. And that to me is absolutely insane if you think about it, right? One of the biggest problems that we have, and close to no scalable market-based solutions, right? Business solutions. That's crazy. And that's what then kind of led to the ideation. And we started off by developing a candy back then based on spirulina, thinking, okay, how can we get nutrition to people in a way that they like it, right? That it's not a burden. And we actually made a candy that was tasty, but the narrative around it was a bit tricky to tell low-income consumers, hey, you should spend money on a product that is a candy, right? And please only eat one candy per day and save the rest for tomorrow. Forget that does not work. And so now I get to your question. We realize, okay, we need to be working with something that people already eat every day, aka traditional foods. And then we leverage fortification, which is this beautiful science of adding vitamins and minerals to basically anything that you have, any food commodity. And then you bring that together, and all of a sudden you have a Mandazi that contains 25% of your daily nutrient requirements in each piece. And the Mandazi is the single most commonly eaten breakfast item in Kenya, and in some derived form also in neighboring countries in East Africa.
Yeah. And what is it? Like for those who don't know, outside of Kenya,
it's a
what is a mandazi?
a piece of fried dough. It's
Yeah.
basically a donut without the hole inside. It's made from wheat flour, oil, and sugar. Nutritional value close to 0, and it tastes great. Great product.
Yeah.
But there's a lot to be done for it to be nutritionally valuable, let's say.
Yeah. So I spent, as I mentioned earlier, spent a few years in Kenya, and we used to have these mandazis. I was involved in a church there, and there used to be, after church, there used to be chai and mandazi. So I remember those fondly. Lovely donuts. So exactly. I can totally understand why people want to eat them every day. You mentioned the 25%, of a child's RDA. So how did you get to that balance, essentially? So that journey to getting that right, and being able to also, sell it at the same price as the normal mandazi. I think that was obviously key. You wouldn't want people to have to pay more. So how do you get that balance right?
So let's start with the nutrient side of things, and I must say, I noticed the smallest thing about these kind of topics, right? I may be interested in it, but I'm a complete idiot when it comes to nutritional sciences. But so I had early on help, nutritionists, food scientists, food technologists who were involved, and how we got to this particular mix that we have now, which is. So we have, I think it's something like 12, 13, 14 different vitamins, minerals that are in this product. We took a nutrient mix that is very popular. So we looked at the World Food Program, a fortified biscuit that is a very, very popular nutrition impact product in the humanitarian world. And we looked at that nutrient mix and we said, okay, if that makes sense, then we can't go too wrong if we do that. And then we were like, okay, Kenya is very specific, so let's look at what Kenya needs specifically. And then we turned a few dials, we made a few adjustments for this nutrient mix then to make sense to us, while also always respecting the upper tolerable limits, the UIs, to make sure we are not threatening toxicity. We're not causing any harm, because too much of anything, too much of vitamins too, are harmful.
Right. Okay. And then in terms of
what was the second question?
Being able to market this now at the same price, you're obviously adding massive value to this.
Yeah.
How can you market this at the same price?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's a very fair question, and lots of people at the beginning and still today said things like, "Yeah, you can't do that. You can't make product with premium ingredients and sell it at the same price." That's 3 out of 5 investors leave the room, But I had this idea of, okay, we're going to do it at scale. And if we produce 5 times as much as anybody else, then it's also okay to have a somewhat smaller margin, gross margin, right? And then all of a sudden the math is a bit better. And if then you're also considering things like cross-subsidization, or in other words, using other channels that earn a bit more to feed into the whole sets of profits or revenues, then you start to get a picture that is profitable, at least in Excel forecasts.
Mm-hmm. Now, you've said your focus is more about nutrition security rather than traditional food security as well. Can you explain that nuance and why does it matter?
Well, in my basic non-technical terms, for me, food security is the access to macronutrients mainly, although probably any specialist would tell me, yeah, that's not true. But I think nutrition security is a field within food security, and
Mm-hmm.
just really looks specifically at, in our case, at micronutrient deficiencies, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's other shapes of nutrition problems, of malnutrition, but we're looking at micronutrient deficiencies. And what I said earlier, for me, that's one of the biggest leverages that we have. And if we tick that box, it just impacts so many things, right? From
Yeah.
your, as a child, cognitive, physical development, your
Mm-hmm.
capacity to focus in school, but also at work, your
Mm.
productivity. Like, there's so many things
It's very important.
micronutrient sufficiency can
Yeah.
boost. So that's why I'm in love with that topic, and that's why we do what we do.
Yeah, incredible. Let's talk a little bit about distribution. You deploy products through roadside shops, school feeding programs, and NGOs. Which have you found to be most effective, and what have you learned through each of these channels?
So what you said first is super important, right? We sell through the roadside shops, and we believe in that a lot, and we
Mm.
build on that almost exclusively at the current time. We do sell through
Mm.
schools, we do sell to a couple of NGOs, but very little. I think
Okay.
95 or maybe 90% of our products go to roadside shops, and that's
Wow.
exactly where we want to be. Um,
Mm.
we are a market-based solution to malnutrition, meaning we need to be there where consumers want to find us, and that not by means of humanitarian distribution or school feeding programs.
Mm.
So that said, roadside shops is where we want to be. The roadside shops are, in fact, in Kenya, making up 70 to 80% of FMCG, that is consumer goods distribution in the country.
Wow.
And so a lot of people ask me, why are you not in supermarkets? Yeah, because that's not where our consumers are. That's not where the targeted is not where the vulnerable communities are, right? So that's why
Mm.
we are in roadside shops. And what are the learnings? 1,000 and more. From what are the priorities? What do you have to deliver on, right? Nobody cares about folic acid and iodine. So you need to you need to build a message that really
Yeah.
addresses what the consumer wants, and that applies to any industry. I'm not being a guru here. So we, but we had learnings in marketing and understanding consumers, and how to distribute, how not to distribute, and who to work with.
Mm.
Da da da. Um,
How did you get into the marketplace? Did you just go from shop to shop, or how does it?
yeah,
How did you get in there?
early days, yeah.
Just
Early days was myself and my then partner in crime, co-founder, walking from shop to shop, telling people about this product that we have, and getting a lot of raised eyebrows. And all of a sudden, we had 8 shops after a week. We were like, okay, let's do it. And then we started working with the first last mile distributors. So essentially, guys that bought it off us and then resold it to the roadside shops, and that was
okay.
the key to exponential
Yeah.
growth in that first
Yeah.
phase. Yeah.
For sure. And how do the shops themselves market this? Do consumers even know that this is now a different type of mandazi, or is it just like, it's just a mandazi, but it happens to have nutritional value? How do
Yeah,
they market it to their customers?
they know it's a different Mandazi, and that is very, very, very important. But they do not know that it is that nutrient dense. They can know, we don't hide it, but we don't communicate it very loudly. We have a QR code and we say, look here, what all the good that is in this product. And there we say that. But we know, again, folic acid and vitamin D are not so sexy. So we had to figure out what, how to brand, how to market, how to position this product for it to appeal to consumers. And that is, in a nutshell, value for money, right? So this product is very dense. It's very satiating. It gives you something for your shilling, for your Kenya shilling in our case.
Yeah.
And secondly, it just tastes a lot better because we use some ingredients that we know consumers like. And those are sweet potato. We use some millet in there, soybean, and a better sugar. And we know consumers like that. And that is also what we market with, what we communicate to consumers. One last thing, our brand is called Mandazi Power, and actually I happen to have a piece of marketing here next to me. For those in video can see our branding, right? It's called Mandazi Power. And this implies this product gives you energy, right? If you're in the streets, you're a dated, heavy worker, you're a mom, you want energy, right? Life is quite tiresome. So that's what we build on, a brand that delivers what you really like rather than what we as entrepreneurs want you to like.
And so in your initial testing and market research, in terms of taste, did you really find that truly it does actually taste better to consumers? Yeah.
100%. Yeah. There's
Amazing.
that I say in all arrogance, our product is superior tasting than any commercial Mandazi out there.
Amazing. Beautiful. And you sold 500,000 of them in your first year. So obviously, again, proof of the pudding is in the eating, I guess. How did that growth unfold initially? With any surprises or turning points in that first year that are worth sharing?
We were blessed. I think we did a couple things right. We had some amazing people pushing us and giving us advice. So we were really lucky. I think that the product within 6 weeks really went through the roof. We hit our production capacity limits within 6 weeks, and then produced roughly 2,500 products per day, and that we then pushed through over this year. At the end, comes out roughly 500,000 products. By now we are almost 1 million. I think 800,000 or so. So, and now we are like, we got to validate it. We got to convince people that this is actually a good thing and a profitable thing. And both grant and equity investors are hooked now. And now we bring it to the next level and scale up production.
Amazing. You mentioned your co-founder. Is that tell us a little bit more about your team and their backgrounds and how you guys complement each other's strengths.
So said co-founder is no longer there, no longer part of our business. Very non-dramatic separation, but it just didn't fit. He's still advising us sometimes, but it didn't work out. I pushed for a long time myself with a bit of consultancy left and right, and now we are a managerial team of 3. So we have the amazing Nora Ikyugu in operations, that is sales and marketing, and the amazing Peter Como in everything production. So something somebody very, very senior in what matters most. That is that the product is safe and good and tasty, and somebody with 8 years market level experience like Nora, who can understand consumers and be good at speaking to them. So that's our managerial team. We have five people in production. We have now one driver, one finance manager, and a board of advisors that is somewhere between 3 and 10 people, I think, on a rolling basis.
Right. And obviously key to, those all sound like Kenyan names. So I guess you coming from, Germany, different cultural background, so it's quite key to working with local Kenyans as well to understand the culture. How have you found that?
Yeah, Kenyans are amazing. I really have a great time here.
Mm,
I'm 3 years now in Kenya. I can really encourage anyone who hasn't set a foot in this place to come around. Great people. Nairobi is a great environment, also a great ecosystem for startup founding. A lot of talent out there.
mm,
I'm not going to say it's easy to find the right people. It never is, but
never is.
I was lucky. And yeah, culturally we vibe. I much like I think everyone is fond of a good team. You want to laugh together.
Yeah,
You wanna throw puns out there and be easygoing and just enjoy this journey together. I think working at community level, I almost want to say like at low income community level, it helps if you show uh, that you are serious about this. I said from the start, I'm going to learn Swahili, and I want to be fluent in
right.
Swahili when I go to the field. And
Mm,
now I'm there. Now I go to the field and I speak to the people in Swahili, and they
brilliant.
freaking love it. Yeah, and
Amazing. Yeah.
they okay,
Well done.
that guy, okay, then I buy.
That's brilliant. Yeah, definitely making an effort. Yeah, I'm very, very good. I lived there for 3 years. I only learned a few words, so well done. Um, you also completely bootstrapped right from the beginning, right? What were the biggest challenges of that journey, and at what point did you know this can scale?
Mm. Bootstrapping is stressful. I think founders can relate out there, and yeah, the ever the ever returning pain of rewiring yourself money from your own personal account to the business account. And like, oh, this needs to
Yeah,
change. At what point did I know that this can work? I think yeah, I want to say I knew from the start that this can work, but this would also not be quite true. Like optimism grew over time. At some point, we had the former global director of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation say, "You are the next big thing," and he joined
mm,
our board. And I was like, "Okay." I had the
nice.
shower moment where I was like, "Yeah, yes, yes, that's that's now." I think if I had to put money, I would bet on us actually making it.
Wow,
I remember thinking that
what
thought.
a moment!
So that was I think in December or so last year. Yeah, and then you get funding from some of these prestigious names, and then you're like, okay, wow, people actually believe this. So and now I'm uh, confident that this will work and it will be big.
Yeah, incredible. I mean, they've been at it for years, right? So they definitely know what they're doing. So to get that type
Mm,
of validation, that's very, very powerful, amazing. You are expanding. You're expanding into from a smaller factory into a larger facility. Um, yeah. So so you also, I assume you've taken on some funding as well.
mm,
So what does expansion look like in practice for you guys?
mm. The expansion actually happens this weekend. So
Ah,
we have fundraised now over the last 3 months, and we have been preparing the new facility over the last 2 months, and we're going to move in now in 2 days. And today we did a lot of installation of machinery. So what does that look like? In our case, it means buying machines, designing process flow, right? How does Mandazi ingredient turn into readily packed Mandazi, and how do you make sure it's quality, it's consistent, it's nicely branded. So there's a lot of marketing involved. There's a lot of production setup involved. There's a lot of partnership making, last mile distribution planning, a partnership making for things like food safety, um, and also the long term planning, right? How do you what kind of machinery do you need in 1 year? You kind of need to start thinking about that now, because that stuff
Yeah.
takes a year to be developed, to be delivered.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's in my head, it's like this metaphor by now. It's juggling, and you have like 20 balls that are constantly in the air, and you don't let them drop. Don't let them drop. It's tiresome, but it's amazing, and every founder can relate, right? It's so much
Mm.
fun. And after a long day, you appreciate what you did.
Yeah, and you really are making an impact. And how do you measure that though? Like, obviously, you want to create a sustainable business, but you want to have impact. And so, how do you define success at 10x? Is it just by profit, or do you count lives reached or mandazis distributed? What is success for you guys?
I think, and this is the cheesy answer, but success is managed is measured in impact, surely,
Mhm.
which is directly tied to finance. I think, at least in the long term, right? If we don't have impact, that means we're not selling well. It means we do shittily and financially. But we're a startup. We can't really yet do things like randomized controlled trials, or really measure the impact of nutrition that we
Right.
provide to people. That's very difficult. That's very costly. That's very long term.
Mm.
But what we can do is refer to the nutrient mix that we use, and we say, look, this has yay impact over there. We're doing the same thing. Hence, maybe our product is also doing something good. But we have to be super careful with claims, right? We can't say, look, we save lives, because there's so much more variables. But I think, to answer your question, meals distributed is one big metric. Another one is
Mm.
specifically also for children, right? How many school children do we reach
Mhm.
with our product? How many unhealthy or like non-fortified snacks do we replace with our fortified version? Um,
Yeah.
and then also things like livelihood thing. We work in production. We work with young women. We train them, and so we
Mm.
provide a great opportunity for income. So that's a metric. And the last one is probably how we source our ingredients, and how we support local value chains.
Yeah. Brilliant. What's and I'm a bit hesitant to ask this question, but because you're just expanding, and that's probably all like on your mind right now. But maybe looking a little bit beyond the right now in the next year, what's next? Are you thinking, dreaming possibly about other products or other
Yeah.
partnerships? How are you expanding?
Oh, my favorite question. Uh,
I'm glad I
but
asked
I
that.
actually, thanks for asking. No, I like to believe in a portfolio made up of the most commonly eaten food items, made in a nutrient dense way. And
Mhm.
for us, that would include things like porridge, maybe chapati, maybe something like
Okay.
keki, that is cake. So those are like very typical staples. Maybe also go into the packaged product category. There's one or
Mm.
two things that I have in mind that I actually don't want to drop here, but that could be commercially very viable, and also reach the base of the pyramid consumers.
Mm.
And that is the high level goal here. And always with that goal in mind, we want to reach those underserved consumers that typically have no or very little access to nutrient dense foods, make them affordable, make them sexy, make them modern, build cool brands, be fair, be transparent, and do as much good as we can while being financially healthy. Yeah.
Amazing. You mentioned chapatis. It actually so happened that I made chapatis for dinner this evening. So it was quite fun to remember also at that time in Kenya. They call them rotis here, obviously, different name, but same thing. But yeah, fun. Now, lastly, just to bring this to a close, based on your experience, what's one piece of practical advice you'd give other entrepreneurs striving to build with purpose, especially with impact in mind?
It's maybe a bit hard to say that across industries, but especially but maybe get out there. I probably spend 2-3 months too long in my comfort zone and being like,
Mm-hmm.
I need to evaluate this first. No, shut up, go out there. Get, like, for us it meant rent finding a little tiny factory space, and when I say factory I mean 20 square meters room, and go to town and buy a tiny fryer and just do it. Stop talking about it. Build a shitty MVP, get out there, learn that it sucks, and go back and do it again and do that 8 times, and all of a sudden 6 weeks passed and you have a product that works. Amazing, ideally. But so the message is less talking, more trying it out, and doing the failing forward thing.
Yeah, some real nuggets there. And you clearly have done lots of that, getting out of your comfort zone, getting into the marketplace literally, and talking to people, talking to your customers. So yeah, well done. You're starting to see the fruit of that labor now as well. But yeah, brilliant. To end us off, I always like doing a bit of a what I call rapid fire questions. You get to choose an either or between the two options. So starting with build fast or build right.
Fast.
Clearly from that last bit of advice, makes a lot of sense. Visionary chaos or methodical planning?
The latter, methodological planning. I may contradict myself here with the former statement, but I'm an organized guy, I would claim, and that helps.
I could see
intuitive.
I could see the German in you and then entrepreneur in you, like having a little fight there. Like German, very methodical, organized, and an entrepreneur. I just want to be visionary. So I could see that going on in your brain there.
Yeah. I mean, you want to think about and carefully weigh your options, and not like intuitive loses for me against methodological. But you also want to get shit done, and that's my life. Like, you need to get shit done, so also don't wait too long.
Backpack across Africa or road trip across the USA?
Definitely Africa.
Awesome. Last one, be in a sitcom or an action movie?
Sitcom. More relaxed. I don't know.
Yeah.
Action movie, people are shooting too much. I don't know. That's sitting on a couch is better.
Nice. Thank you, Fabio. It's been so much fun chatting with you. Thank you for joining me. It's been super insightful. Love what you guys are doing at 10x Nutrition. If people want to check you out, how do they find you online?
Yeah, first of all, thanks, Sam, for having me. Great questions. Great opportunity to talk about us and about our vision and the impact story. What do we find us? 10xnutrition.com, one word, and at Instagram we are 10x Nutrition, and I think next week we're launching our brand Instagram channel that will be Mandazi.Power. And then, well, if you want to connect on LinkedIn, my name is Fabio Rappenecker, and happy to link up there as well.
Great. Thanks, Fabio. Have a good one.
Thanks, Sam. To you too.
If you've been enjoying Born to Build, please take a moment to rate the show on your favorite podcast app. Your support helps more people discover it and keeps the conversation growing.